Good morning and welcome to Bahamas and Sunrise. No, mostly mine, but I have extensions and, but it's not extensions.
It's another day, the sun shining. Got to know what's all around you. Wake up and make your mind. Come with me, make the moment brighter. Wake up in the Bahamas. Go wake up in the Bahamas and
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas and Sunrise on this to be in your company.
Marvelous Monday indeed. I'm Philip Simon.
Looking forward to a wonderful show. It's an interesting weekend. So, thank you.
Yeah, I was here,
Uh,
of course, celebrating with but
Yeah.
but
I still have a little bit of the no, I feel
good. You're probably the only one this morning. Godfrey is in memoriam of the Rams last night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm so over it.
yeah.
I'm really over it. I just want to co-host with Audrey. And one that is loyal to games that I can people happy.
I'm loyal to Christian, man. It was an interesting game. I'm not sure if I've ever watched a Super Bowl game quite like that.
I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't enjoy it?
No, I thought that. I just wondered if the Rams showed up to play. Like, I wondered what was that pep talk like before. Like,
Listen,
I felt like they looked scared. Now, the
somebody
defense
gave,
was amazing.
Belichick a playbook, man, because they were off of everything.
No, I mean, well, but when I look at I just wondered,
I know.
like, did you guys know you were coming? Did you be here? And it's kind of one of those things got them before they actually played the actual game.
I'm just
I'm not joining, but you know, it's a great day. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you.
Yeah, BTD is not things. So they got an interesting program in 2019. So we're going to talk about this morning with Gio. I'll be talking about a new phone. I'll say exactly what that is. Interesting stuff, and of course, the minister back more on this program.
Report all of those things. While speaking of sports and culture in the house, particularly form of culture, we're talking to us about what's in the culture and most likely and in addition to that, oh, first families in the house. Yes, of course, my sister, my brother from the Alpha fraternity. As you know, in the United States, February is Black History Month. And so these two organizations, brother and sister organizations, have taken the opportunity to do is to use February here as a month to highlight fathers and sorority sisters who were graduated from Berkeley University.
Okay.
And those schools have had our nation itself. So
It's
looking
a
forward
long,
to that
distinguished
conversation.
list.
Mhm.
In fact, Dr. Russell is here this morning. You see, I'm actually.
Like, you know, and that's what the after. Well, Sean, fashion sense another time. Gonna be a great show this morning, as you can tell. And I'll make a first look at weather. Got it.
Weather at sunrise. Brought to you by Bahamas.
Thank you, Star. White Bahamas. Yes, somewhere black this morning. Have the for the most part, good game. No offense to the ball game last night. Well, for today, you have a look at Thomas, the shot, and old country was the home area. In store with the guys today. We're looking at partly sunny and warm. A few showers, so this temperature degrees Fahrenheit. And highs and lows across the Caribbean: Barbados 82 and 72, Jamaica 77, 60, in Raleigh 64 and 43, in Miami 77, 65, Dallas, Texas 76 and 61, and Toronto, Canada 44 and 34. As we go through the week, a beautiful week in store weather-wise, lots of sunshine, warm temperatures. By the end of the week, Thursday, we expect those winds to start picking up through the weekend. Temperature daytime will be in the low 80s, at nighttime in the upper 60s. That puts you up in your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you so much. As I mentioned, the Alpha Phi fraternity, the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority teamed up to bring us a seat of who historically black colleges and universities. Well, we began that segment on Friday, and we continue this morning talking to my good soror, Sharon Poitier. She's the Deputy Director of Education. And you may know him very well. He's the reason I smile. And of course, he is a university. And I can more about their experience at the time. Alumni.
It was an amazing thing at Howard. Howard really helped in a major way to shape who I am today. Okay. I did my undergraduate, my dental training, as well as my specialty training in orthodontics. So I'm a real Howardite.
Yeah, like all the way.
Yes, all the way, through and through. And you know, Howard prepared me extremely well to becoming an orthodontist and coming back home as the first Bahamian orthodontist and making a contribution to nation building.
Wow.
It gave me the spirit of excellence that I wanted. I wanted to come back as not just the first Bahamian orthodontist, but the first world-class orthodontist. I wanted to give a first world experience, and we've been working hard to accomplish that, and I think Howard prepared me to do that. Okay. Howard is a wonderful opportunity. Gave me the wonderful opportunity to develop my leadership skills and to give me the confidence necessary to be who I became.
Okay. I mean, sounds pretty good, right? And the evidence is literally in my smile, so I believe in what he says. And what about you, Sarah Sharon? When you think about your experience at Howard, what are some of the things that stood out for you?
Well, what stood out for me, I'm a history major.
Okay.
And so just being on the campus, steeped in history, the moment you walked on the campus, you knew that you were in a special place.
Yes, yes.
All of the buildings named for African Americans, my classes in history. It was just a wonderful experience. And I think when we talk about Howard University, we have to talk about that experience, that exceptional leadership that you are exposed to, the fact that you met so many students from different walks of life who basically had the same mindset, that of excellence. The fact that you were engaged in so many extracurricular activities to shape who you are. And certainly for me, history and education, those were the two areas that I was exposed to at Howard. Excellence was always the mantra.
I love
You do what you must, because you're not only representing your family, you're representing Howard University.
Okay.
And so for me, that was exceptional.
So I love hearing you talk about excellence. It's something that I think that we need to kind of re-emphasize in society,
Absolutely.
this desire to always do our best in whatever task we find ourselves in. And so for people looking off now to go into school, it's January now, so this is about that time to get into this university
Yes.
applications. Are there opportunities for Bahamian students at Howard now?
There are opportunities, and I must say that the application deadline is February 15th.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that our young people are applying and getting their applications in before the deadline. But there are so many opportunities today,
Okay.
even more so than existed when I was a student there. When I was there, you know, foreign students only got a tuition scholarship. Today you can get almost a full scholarship.
Excellent.
And so that opportunity is there. And we need to stress to young people that the same quality education that you can get anywhere in the world is at Howard University.
And that's why I wanted to ask you, Dr. Russell, because a lot of people may say, well, you know, going to an HBCU in this day and time might be regressive, right? Why would you want to surround yourself with people that may be just like you when you want to expose yourself to other things? What would you say?
Well, there's a great misconception when it comes to HBCUs, and that is that the quality of education may not be the same as a Eurocentric university, and that could be no further from the truth. The diversity at Howard University is actually excellent.
Okay.
There are people from every continent, many countries. They may be people of color, and as a matter of fact, there are lots of white people at Howard University, and that's a misconception because people think that white people don't go to Howard University, but there are lots of white people at Howard University. So it's a very diverse community.
Yeah.
And the level of instruction is as good as you can find at any of the great universities in the world. So there should be no concern of anybody that they cannot get a top first-class, first-world education at Howard University. That has been dispelled a long time ago.
Certainly.
And so we should not even be discussing that right now. The quality of education is superb.
Okay. Okay, and then certainly Howard is known amongst those HBCUs. It's almost the Ivy, the Mecca of HBCUs, right at Howard University. And you just take a look at distinguished alumni, both here and abroad, to recognize that truth. Okay, so deadline is February 15th. Do people need to do anything in particular? Is the ministry working with the university, or do they just apply online?
They apply online.
Okay.
They apply online, and anything that we can do at the ministry to assist, then we will.
Okay.
And the Howard Alumni Association, headed by Erica Hepburn, she's pushing that. So,
Okay. All right. And before you go, I got to ask you guys, Greek life at Howard University. We talked about it before you go.
Awesome.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Okay.
The Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, it's very active at Howard University, as you might imagine.
Right.
And the AKs were founded on the campus of
Alpha
Howard
chapter.
University.
So
Alpha chapter founded at Howard
yes,
University. So
yes,
certainly
yes.
people are looking forward to an excellent education, excellent exposure to people from all around the world,
Yes.
a wonderful history, as you both said, joining a robust alumni organization once they return
You're in
home.
Washington, D.C., 5 minutes from the White
Oh
House.
my
Right.
goodness,
So
yeah,
the opportunities are abounding there
Yes.
in that urban setting.
Yeah, certainly.
And over the past 25 years, the actual community surrounding Howard University has really significantly been improved to the point where it's a beautiful campus and surrounding area.
Yeah,
Yes,
excellent. And so parents can feel safe too
Yes.
about their kids
Absolutely.
going. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, I want to thank you guys so much for coming and sharing at Howard University. Did not have the opportunity to go, but visited the campus with a friend that was studying medicine there. Absolutely loved it, loved the culture and the experience. And so it's good to see you guys coming on and sharing with us these opportunities still exist with HBCUs. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope that you are looking forward to sending off those college applications, and make sure that you include Howard in one of them. We're going to be right back after this commercial break.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want First Response on your side, call 32-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First Response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Wait, that's Omar Little from The Wire. You think everyone is Omar from The Wire?
Wow, it's really nice to meet a fan.
It's like he's right here. Are you telling you he's being all type shows and stuff?
And you know, Rev Go Play plays a lot of good movies and TV shows.
Excuse me, can't you see we're watching something else? Rude.
Settle all your pop culture disputes with Rev Go Play. Watch, record, and stream all your favorite shows wherever you are. Free for all Rev TV subscribers. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back to the show. We're very pleased this morning to be joined by the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute. February is Technical Month here in the Bahamas, and of course they join in with the Ministry of Education in celebrating it. Of course, they wish you to learn, grow, and achieve with any of their wide-ranging offerings of certificate, professional, and diploma courses. Very pleased to be joined this morning by Plachette McPhee. Of course, I got that name right. Practiced all morning for that. She's the Dean of Academic Affairs, and she's the Academic Dean, of course. And Anthony Ramtula, the Chair of the IT Department, Information Technology. Good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. They are on the other side of the camera this morning, first timers here on Bahamas at Sunrise, and talking about BTVI. For people who are not as familiar with the Institute, what is, in a nutshell, is the role of BTVI?
Well, at BTVI, we're responsible for training. And like our mission says, that we enable our students become globally competitive and economically independent. It's a mandate from the government. In addition to that, our focus is to fill that skills gap in the country, make sure that our students are workforce ready for the world of work.
Well, you play a very important role as the Academic Dean, and of course the Academic Affairs Department within this overall scheme of BTVI. Just talk a little bit about what that process involves.
Well, Academic Affairs is the department that students would come in contact with once they would have applied, registered, and become full-fledged students. And our role in Academic Affairs is to ensure that students, in terms of their matriculation, in terms of their academic track, goes very smoothly. My role as Academic Dean is really loaded. I can tell you. I, first of all, assist the Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs, who is the Chief Academic Officer. I also serve as the faculty lead, as well as oversee curriculum, instruction, and assessment in terms of the process. And lastly, I handle student discipline and also students' complaints. So it's loaded. Yeah, I tell you, it's loaded.
Well, hopefully you get 2 or 3 assistants underneath you. Anthony, when we talk about it, and it's in your name, BTVI, but what exactly really is, the definition of technical and vocational studies and students?
Well, that word vocational is kind of old.
Okay.
Worldwide, we think of it as career and technical training and emphasis on career.
Okay.
So BTVI gets you ready for a job.
Okay.
when you start, in particular with the IT department, after you could sign up for a certificate that's designed to be completed in 1 semester. You will have an international certification in that, and you will have a certificate from BTVI, and you could get a certain level of employment. 2 semesters, you could achieve a diploma, and a few more international certifications, and you're ready for an even higher stage. And if you do 2 years and finish one of our 3 associate degrees, then you'll get plenty international certifications in addition to your degree, and many options with universities and colleges in the United States and Canada. So the main thing, as I said before, we're getting you ready for a career. In my area is a career in IT. And recently, the government, they're really supporting us. And so last year summer, we had a pilot project that the Prime Minister sponsored, and we actually designed our program now where students leaving grade 9, they've started a dual enrollment where they've started to do courses at BTVI, international certifications, and so we have a plan. By the time these students leave high school, they'll have like between 6 and 9 international certificates.
That sounds like an accelerated bridge program.
Right. So there's a lot of things happening at BTVI right now.
It's interesting. So February is technical month, and you guys are participating as well. Do you have any special plans for that, or just an emphasis overall on IT and ICT?
It's actually generated from the Ministry of Education, where emphasis is placed on technical and vocational education. You know, a lot of times in the past, we were considered a second-class citizen when you look at education, and so it's an effort to more or less sensitize the public. And I always say that technical education is the answer to a lot of our societal ills, and we have to realize that as a people. Technical education empowers persons to become entrepreneurs, you know, to be their own boss, and so we really have to now focus on enabling our students to complete an education in the technical field, you know.
Yeah. Anthony, you've been there for
over 11 years.
Over 11 years. What have you seen as the evolution, particularly in the area of IT and ICT, and the type of students that you've been getting, especially most recently?
Okay. Well, so BTVI, we have implemented a lot of standards. So in particular for IT, every single course that we do at BTVI is backed by some international standard. What we have seen, now BTVI, we start over, BTVI is very easy to get into. And we made it that way on purpose because we want to provide a pathway for everyone. So you come into BTVI and a preliminary level, a pre-college level, and we have a department of academic people who would then train you and sort you into your area. So from that standpoint, what we get in IT, we get all the students are at the standard that they need to be. We find more and more, though, that we are having people transferring, I won't call any names, but from other colleges and universities to come to us because of that career level. So our students, to get into a degree program at BTVI in IT, you need your BGCSE 5. You know, so that should tell you it's not
difficult.
Yeah, definitely. So what can we expect from BTVI in 2019? You know, going forward, how's it been going?
Well, in terms of academic affairs, you can expect for us to continue to deliver a superior product. You know, with us, what we do in academic affairs is make sure that we keep that connection with what we call our program advisory persons, people who are in industry that support and advise us in terms of our programs and to make sure that our programs are relevant. You can be sure that BTVI will continue to reach out and ring the alarm in terms of technical education. We will continue to get involved with projects like the IT project that the Prime Minister is now backing in Grand Bahama, you know, making Grand Bahama that tech hub. And so we are going to continue the work,
Yeah.
you know, the mandate that the government has given us.
Of course, and the end result, of course, is a more
Yes.
educated society,
Yes,
a more
definitely.
well-rounded student, and of course, ready for careers in the workforce.
Yes.
Plachette, Anthony, thank you so much for joining us here in Bahamas at Sunrise. We've been with the academic dean and the dean of academic affairs, Plachette McPhee, and Anthony Ramtula, chair of the information technology department. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
WTO memberships will bring benefits to the Bahamas. These benefits include increased economic growth and development, increased opportunities for Bahamian exports, higher employment, better income for Bahamian workers, lower cost of living for Bahamian consumers, increased choices for Bahamian consumers, modernization in government services, and better relations with trade partners. These benefits, combined with progressive planning and execution by our private and public sectors, will produce a better life for Bahamians.
My name is Regilio Bethel. My position on board Equinox is mate, relief captain. I must say that during our travels and journeys throughout the Exuma Keys, we've had a few dark or dead spots. Basically, there was no service. They were just dark spots. We would basically be dead ship out in the cold without any communication. And it's been like that for years, and we've gotten used to it. But life has now provided us with a service which we can stay communicated during our entire voyages. And I've been waiting for Live to bring their service up to more coverage throughout the Bahamas, which they've done in an amazing amount of time. So yeah, I would encourage them all to get that service. It's an awesome service, no interruptions, and it's awesome.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Now here in Bahamas at Sunrise, we like to talk to you often about your health and steps that you can take to improve it. We recognize that our country struggles really with non-communicable diseases, and this morning we wanted to talk more about that, and more specifically how we get measurements for that to find out if we're improving, if we're regressing, and what are the steps we need to take to move forward. We're very happy this morning to welcome Ms. Camille Nern. She's with us from the Ministry of Health, and she's going to be talking about a survey that is currently underway that is helping us to collect the data necessary to improve our lives. Good morning, Ms. Nern, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
A pleasure to have you with us this morning.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Because you're working on something that's so important, and that's understanding specifically what is happening with our non-communicable diseases, and that's across the Bahamas. You guys are doing something called the STEPS survey. So what is STEPS?
STEPS is a national household, excuse me, the STEPS is a national household survey that's being conducted across the Bahamas. And it began in January, and it will run through the month of March.
Okay, so January going through March. Are there any islands that have already been completed, or actually what are the islands involved in this process?
Yes, there are 7 islands that are included in the survey.
Okay.
New Providence, Grand Bahama, there's also Abaco, Eleuthera and Exuma, Cat Island, and Inagua.
Okay.
So at this time, Cat Island and Inagua are nearly finished. They should be done before the end of the week, I would say, yes.
Okay.
So we're very happy to see the progress that we've been making so far.
Okay. Now, how does this actual process work? Because we often recognize, and I know especially for students who are in college and are looking for research information, that you need statistics, you need data, but sometimes it can be hard to find in the Bahamas. But you guys are actually out on the ground now and conducting the research. So how does the actual conducting of the survey take place?
Okay, so it's a matter of going to pre-selected homes by a randomized process.
Okay.
So houses were randomly selected, and the enumeration districts that they're in were also randomly selected, so it's a completely randomized process.
Okay.
And in going to the homes, we'll be targeting persons between the ages of 18 to 69.
Okay.
And if there's several persons within that age group, then only one will be selected also by a random process.
Okay.
And so that person will be interviewed.
Okay. And then what are the sorts of questions that you're answering in this interview process?
The areas cover topics such as alcohol use, tobacco use, physical inactivity or physical activity, and there are several other health-related topics that are covered as well.
Okay.
It is a standardized process developed by the World Health Organization.
Okay.
And so we follow the same methods, the same protocols are followed in the field as the other countries do across the world and also in the region.
Okay.
Yes.
And what do you think, what's the ultimate goal? I mean, certainly when you call something like the World Health Organization, and I know that when I research things, for example, I would go to their website, I'd pull up fact sheets and try to look to see what were the facts about the Bahamas. So it makes sense to me that this would kind of go into that world database of this is the information about the Bahamas. But what is the goal for the Ministry of Health, really?
For the Ministry of Health, well, of course, its aim is to provide complete health services for the Bahamas, for everyone living here. And so for us, it is important to monitor the overall state of health, and in this case for non-communicable diseases, and also the risk factors, so that we can tailor the programs and the responses appropriately.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Quite simple when you think about it that way, actually. All right, and so do people need to know, I guess, how to respond to persons coming to ask questions? Because I know that sometimes we can be a little sensitive about sharing information.
Yes.
How confident can we be in the confidentiality of what is shared with those persons coming to ask questions?
Yes, persons can be very much confident that their information shared will be kept private.
Okay.
We will not be selecting any single individual and I should say publicizing that information or sharing it, but it will be evaluated as a group.
Okay.
And so they can be assured that it will be kept confidential. Also, the enumerators were sworn to secrecy.
Okay.
They have signed an agreement.
Okay.
And so everyone can be assured that they can participate fully and be open with the information that is requested.
All right. And you said enumerators, so I'm assuming those are the people that go and ask survey questions, right?
They're the interviewers.
The interviewers, all right. So see, we're working on our vocabulary today. So we've learned a new word, that's enumerators, and those are the persons that go in and ask those questions of people. You guys at the Ministry of Health, I'm sure, are very well staffed and well taken care of, but I can imagine that this task is mammoth. Do you have partners that are assisting you in making sure that this is an effective research process?
Yes. One of our key partners is the Pan American Health Organization, which has been providing support from the planning stages all along the way, so they'll be with us. And they are a co-sponsor as well, and they've been also providing technical support.
Excellent.
Yes, so we very much appreciate that. And in addition to PAHO, we also have the Department of Statistics, the University of the Bahamas as well.
Okay.
So it's a team effort.
A team effort all around, I imagine. Now, getting all that data back to Nassau, I'm sure must be a challenge as well. Are you guys utilizing mechanics, or is it still a paper process? How do you make sure that the information that you get back to you is consistent and relevant and collected in a timely manner so that the data is not skewed?
The enumerators will be using tablets. Well, they are using tablets.
Okay.
And so that information is collected and keyed into a computer tablet.
Okay.
And so that's uploaded to a central database.
Excellent.
So that really speeds up the process instead of using the paper-based approach.
So I know you started in January, continuing through March. Some of the islands are already starting to wrap up. When do you think we'll get to be able to hear the results of the survey and know what the status is of health for these non-communicable diseases throughout the country?
Well, the results preliminary results should be available, I would say, within a month or two.
Okay.
And so fact sheets will be available, and the same fact sheets that you would pull up from the website at WHO. You would see something familiar like that from us. And of course it will be available on the government's webpage.
Okay.
For viewers who would like to see previous results, they can go onto our webpage as well.
Okay.
That's www.bahamas.gov.bs/healthstats.
All right.
So that's available there, and of course we will keep the public up to date. And the Minister of Health will be sharing results, first of all, because it has been sanctioned and supported by him.
Excellent. Well, Ms. Nairn, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, making us aware that the survey is taking place. And so if you are watching today and somebody comes and they're asking you about your health information, that it is legitimate, process sanctioned by our government, want to really help us to improve the country. And we thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
WTO memberships will bring benefits to the Bahamas. These benefits include increased economic growth and development, increased opportunities for Bahamian exports, higher employment, better income for Bahamian workers, lower cost of living for Bahamian consumers, increased choices for Bahamian consumers, modernization in government services, and better relations with trade partners. These benefits, combined with progressive planning and execution by our private and public sectors, will produce a better life for Bahamians.
Ajax Cleanser, 14 ounce, now $1.39 at Solomon's.
George Washington Carver was born a slave in the 1960s on a farm near Diamond, Missouri. Carver became the first African American to receive a Bachelor of Science degree and a Master of Agriculture degree at Iowa State Agricultural College. Shortly after graduation, Carver was hired to run the Tuskegee Institute Agriculture Department in southeastern Alabama. There, he taught students about fertilization and crop rotation. Carver discovered that growing nitrogen-fixing plants like peanuts, soybeans, and sweet potatoes would allow soil restoration. He then produced numerous products from sweet potatoes like flour, vinegar, steins, dyes, and paints. But Carver became known as the Peanut Man when he developed more than 300 foods from peanuts, including milk, cooking oils, cosmetics, soaps, and paper. A Moment in Black History is brought to you by Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity and by the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority in conjunction with the Counselors Limited.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point, and we hope that you've been enjoying the show so far.
Yeah, always a good show here on Bahamas at Sunrise. Actually, looking forward to the conversations to come, but at the same time, BTVI. I didn't get a chance to listen to all of yours. Hey, want to say good morning to Andre Moss. Of course, you know, Black History Month. I had to go up the bow tie, you know. He says it's very special to him, and of course it's very special to many of us here. But yeah, BTVI is really, you know, it's come a long way. You know, like you said, it used to be like considered like a second-class type of educational institution. But really, it's becoming the path of choice for many young Bahamians.
And I think it ought to be. I think one of the greatest things that you can have in your arsenal is something that you can do with your hands, right? And we know that as
and it used to be that way.
But it ought to continue to be that way, because we know as we move forward with the computerization, and I don't know how many of you watched the Super Bowl last night, but notice how much of the commercials highlighted robots or some sort of technology, but that is going to be our future, and we ought to realize that in 20 years, 800,000 jobs, 800 million jobs, my apologies, are going to be lost to robotics, and so what are the things that we can do that other people can't do? So grateful that BTVI is continuing and pushing and encouraging other people to learn.
Excellent rewards as well. I mean, I don't want to say good paying, but certainly great rewards in those various fields.
Yeah, lots of excellent rewards, and so much we can do. We need a whole show on all the creative ways that we can use entrepreneurship now, but we've got more to come in the second half. We're going to be talking with one of those young men that is doing something creative and fun, and learning more about how Gio is doing this new movie, right?
Well, he showed up and he's completely taken over the consulate this morning.
Well, this is Gio. Everywhere Gio goes, he takes over. So, like, that's an automatic. But looking forward to that conversation with Giovanni. And in addition to that, I've got Ministry of Youth here, Phil. Going to be talking with Novi about the Clement Bethel Festival.
Well, that's great. I mean, they also had what was it over the weekend? I forgot. The True Bahamian Festival. I missed it. I wanted to get out there to see, you know. I come to get me, you know.
But like, and you know, last year that's when I first saw like Pulpy, and that's when they first introduced Counting Coon, and so certainly got a lot of good Bahamian products out there. I was sorry I missed it too. The weather, and then the Super Bowl. And, you know, next time. Listen, you got more to come in the second half, but we're gonna first take a look at weather for a second time with the G-Man himself. Here he is, Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First in Insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Star. Good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather at sunrise, we still have that low-level trough across Grand Bahama Abaco. Could trigger up a couple of showers. Old front boundary across Exuma, Cat Island, and that's going to trigger up a couple of showers today. But the high pressure will build, and so a beautiful weekend still weather-wise. But those breezy conditions will start sometime on Wednesday. In your marine forecast, Wednesday variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet. On Tuesday, those winds become north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Then on Wednesday, northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet in northwest Bahamas, but starting to increase 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide is 7:31 this morning. Next low tide will be 1:57 this afternoon. High gain this evening at 7:47. Sunset 5:55 this evening. Rises tomorrow morning at 6:51. UV index 7. Your water temperature 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase. New moon. External look. Lovely weekend still weather-wise and some warm temperatures. Partly sunny and warm. Slight chance of one passing showers. And by Thursday, those winds start increasing to about 15-20 knots. Seas 4 to 7 feet. That's what you're up when you finally look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Man needs no introduction except to say this time he is an executive producer and Hollywood debut back on Bahamas at Sunrise, back with the counselors Giovanni Stewart. Listen, I'm going to let you introduce it yourself.
Well, good morning, Bahamas at Sunrise. Joan Aubrey. Good morning, Bahamas. Good morning, Hollywood. Mwah. Happy to be here.
You're doing a new thing, man. You're doing a big thing.
Yeah, well, I'm the blockbuster guy. I'm the $10 million man. All of a sudden, you know, finally I got Hollywood knocking on my door. You know, a guy, George Montero, amazing film auteur, genius. You know, he discovered me here in the Bahamas. And I sort of discovered him too, because his name is going to be bigger than Steven Spielberg or any of the big names, James Cameron and all of those guys out there making underwater movies. But I want to tell you all about The Shark Whisperer. In fact, what I'll do is George prepared a special video. Let me introduce you to my business partner, Hollywood film producer extraordinaire, George Montero.
Good morning, Bahamas at Sunrise. First of all, let me say how honored I am to be invited on your show. I love the Bahamas. I've been coming to these beautiful islands for decades. I do all my underwater productions, from my Seacam Journal Travel Channel series to my Last Man Diving blog series with Stuart Cove. Why do I keep coming back here? Because it has the warmest, friendliest people, the most gorgeous dive sites, beautiful year-round weather, and of course, the most renowned shark diving operation on the planet, Stuart Cove's Dive Bahamas. I made Stuart's first promotional video way back when, and we've been friends ever since. I know that anything I write on pen and paper about sharks, he and his crew can help me get on film. So when I started writing my new movie script, Shark Whisperer, it was a no-brainer where I wanted to film it, in the Bahamas with Stuart Cove. Shark Whisperer is the story of a little girl who makes friends with a tiger shark, much to the horror of her parents.
Look, Mommy, a dolphin! Naya, no! Naya, that's not a dolphin!
She grows up to become an environmentalist and shark advocate, and one day has to defend her shark friend from an international criminal shark finning ring. You probably know that shark finning, though illegal here in the Bahamas, is claiming the lives of tens of millions of sharks around the world each year for nothing more than a bowl of shark fin soup. And it's having devastating effects on the marine environment. Shark Whisperer tells that story through the eyes of a child in a very personal way, like movies such as Flipper and Free Willy did. And we feel it'll have a big impact on children and those who love and want to protect God's creation.
No, you don't!
Hollywood has made billions of dollars teaching us to hate and fear sharks with movies like Steven Spielberg's Jaws and Sharknado. Shark Whisperer will be the first feature film ever to show sharks in a positive light and tell audiences the truth about sharks. No, we're not trying to tell people sharks are tame pets, but they are an essential part of the ocean ecosystem, and they deserve our respect and protection like polar bears and African lions. But old habits die hard, and after pitching my film to several Hollywood studios, I was getting a little discouraged. They weren't ready to stop exploiting sharks for profit. Then I ran into this enthusiastic PADI dive instructor and media maverick named Giovanni Stewart. Giovanni totally saw my vision and encouraged me to enter Shark Whisperer teaser that you just saw in the Bahamas International Film Festival. Reluctantly, I agreed, and to my surprise, the film made a huge splash. And Giovanni was so enthused that he decided to take the reins as executive producer of Shark Whisperer and turn it into a truly Bahamian production with Bahamian cast, crew, and
That's, Gio, you know, we got so caught up just listening to George there, but I mean, this is a really big project, man. I mean, $10 million is what you're doing it, and you're trying to make this a straight up Bahamian.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first blockbuster Bahamian-made movie. That's me. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger right now. I'm Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise right now. Yeah, we're trying to bring it home. This one is for the home team. Big task under me, trying to make it as Bahamian as possible. Want people like, you know, yourself and Shelley Moss and all these other great filmmakers that we've had just, you know, rustling about. It's time for us to really get moving. This vision, we've had this vision for many years, right, Shelley? And now, you know, it's coming to the forefront. And, you know, I'm taking the lead. I'm leading this. I want all of my partners and all my buddies in the media, please embrace Giovanni Stewart. Get behind me in a way that you never have before. I'm really out in front on this. And we're really going to take this 242 thing all the way to Hollywood. I'm taking all of you guys with me. And Joan Aubrey and everybody. Man, listen, Thank you, George Montero. Shout out Iris Strikes.
Excitement, man. I can feel the excitement. So what's next in the process, though? What's next?
Well, you know, I've been excited from COB. Well, basically, you know, what's going to happen is, you know, I'm basically trying to have my own segment at Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm trying to monetize that and sort of be around. If somebody sneezes, I want to give you guys an update. So we're in the process. We're still doing due diligence. We have a little ways before we actually launch. But Corporate Bahamas, time to take Giovanni seriously once again. You know, I always come asking for that money. I need $10 million. I want you guys to get together, create consortiums, 10 of y'all. I want a bidding war if we can. If not, I'm going to get it from someone else. So let's work together on this. Let's make this as Bahamian as possible, especially in the financing. What I'm about to do, I'm taking it to Freeport. So once this money drops, we're setting up shop, opening up in Freeport. We're going to put a lot of love on the second city, get that place up and running, and make Freeport the film capital of the Bahamas, starting with the Shark Whisperer. Shout out George Montero.
All right, excellent, man. Giovanni Stewart, executive producer, actor, scuba diver.
Scuba diver, PADI certified dive instructor. Let's go diving.
Listen, man.
Stuart Cove, shout out Stuart Cove.
Congratulations, man.
Thank
Looking forward to seeing it very soon. The Shark Whisperer, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Colgate toothpaste, 6-ounce twin pack, now $4.89 at Solomon's.
I always wanted to come back to the College of Bahamas. I wanted to be a faculty. When the opportunity came for me to be Vice President of Operations, I said, well, let me try that first. It makes me proud because I was here before. I feel as if now I'm sort of like a beacon for those students who are here to say, hey, listen, I can actually be a Vice President. I can actually be one of the big leaders at the university. I'm Ronnie Stevenson, and this is my UB.
Apply today at www.ub.edu.bs.
Grand Bahamas' biggest business conference. Be there Thursday, February 21st at the Grand Lucayan Resort at 8:30 a.m. Keynote address by Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, Minister for Grand Bahama. Register now. Contact Margaret Albury at the Councilors Limited at 322-7505 or Merson Ferguson at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce 242-352-8329 or register online at tclevents.com. Grand Bahama Business Outlook 2019.
So who really own the Nassau Container Port? Boss, that's easy. The government.
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
I do.
I do. And one day, he will too.
I do. Knock now.
Here at the Nassau Container Port, we've diversified our ownership to give hardworking Bahamians a piece of the economic pie. And we'll continue to grow so that we can give you a consistent return on your investment. That's our promise.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. This morning I am talking to a woman that makes us all want to sing and dance. And of course she's going to be bringing some of that throughout the Bahamas as she gets prepared to lead the E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival, the one and only Novi Pierre. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Morning, morning, morning.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now of course Novi is the Senior Cultural Affairs Officer with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. And you're getting ready for the E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival. How many years, Novi?
60 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
60 years of the E. Clement Bethel Festival.
Yes, and you know, I tell people, I say, I have the extreme pleasure of having been a participant and then a teacher, and now I'm, you know, this big fancy title, I don't know what it means, organizing secretary, where I have such an awesome team.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way that it can work. But this festival is 60 years.
Yeah, man, that's a long time. And, and you and I were sharing off camera, and I was telling you, I remember when I was doing all of my speeches. And that's what's really trained me to be a communicator now, coming to the E. Clement Bethel Festival. And so really appreciating what it does for creatives.
Most definitely.
You know?
You know, I can remember my first time performing at Clement Bethel Festival. It was when I was back in Mabel Walker Primary. Ruby Ann Darling was my music teacher, and I can remember us on the ground working on our costumes.
Wow.
You know, and so things like that I remember. Philip Burris, who's an adjudicator for drama, he always speaks and says he remembers when he stood on the stage and he did his recitations. And now look at what he does.
Yeah.
The Dundas Center for Performing Arts, production all over the world and whatnot. So, hey.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Just the talent that comes through.
Yes.
And I would remember just a healthy competition, right?
Yes,
I couldn't sing, but the Lord knows I love me some drama. So they just let me do it because I had such an eager heart to be in the choir. And we would just have, you know, this excitement about seeing the other choirs and what they would come with. And so certainly it was an amazing time to see the arts come to life in school. Of course. But what I'm excited about, and I just learned this last year from you all, is that you don't even have to be in high school anymore. No. You can do it at a community level.
No.
So talk to me about that.
There's always been a community arm of the festival.
Okay.
In recent years, it kind of went down, and so we're doing as much as we possibly can to bring it back up.
Okay.
Because of the 60th-year celebration, and this is pretty big, going into the islands, we're trying to encourage the community to come in. Churches, youth groups, dancers, singers, and we know in a lot of the islands, you have families that have singers, and they do a cappella singing, and you know, the old traditions, and we're trying to bring that in. And remember now, it's not only music.
Right.
A lot of people think it's only music. There's dance, there's arts, arts and craft, but photography, shell work, carpentry, metalwork. There's so many areas of the National Arts Festival. There's Junkanoo. There is, there's so many. There's sewing. You know, at one point we went to Andros and the kids did a dance. And I said to the teachers, I said, who did the costumes that the kids are in? And they said, oh, the kids did them themselves. I said, well, you can enter that. And we literally took the costumes off of the students and we adjudicated those. So there's so many avenues for the National Arts Festival. And we're going to every single island where there is an entrant.
Okay, every single island where there is an entrant.
Every single island.
Is there still time to enter if you've not yet done
There
so?
is time to enter. There's time to enter.
Okay.
Just call the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, which is in the education building on Thompson Boulevard.
Okay.
Well, it's University Drive now. 502-0601. Ask to speak to me or anybody that's dealing with National Arts Festival, and you can enter until the 15th of this month.
Okay.
So, you know, and of course, those persons in the islands, once they contact us or we contact them and they tell us what it is that they're entering, then we just accept application forms and fees when we get there.
Okay,
But,
excellent.
you know, the adjudications here in New Providence, we ask them, because New Providence and Grand Bahama especially have the largest amount of entries.
Right,
yes.
right. Yeah, and I certainly know that it, like I said, is a festival that people look forward to. And of course, we want to remind people in the community segment as
Yes.
well that they have the option. You don't have to be in high school.
No,
You don't have to be in a
no,
church. You
no.
can enter as an individual in
As
the
an
community.
individual, once you can get in there and present whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be drama or music or whatever, just come.
Just come.
Just come.
Just come. Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. And so, Novi, you go into every single island.
Yes.
And when do you get started? Because deadline is February 15th.
This week.
Oh, this week.
This
Okay.
week. We start in Eleuthera
Okay.
on Wednesday.
Okay.
They go into Eleuthera. And the next week we do the Southern Islands. We have Inagua, Mayaguana, we have Acklins, we have Crooked Island.
Okay.
And then we take a break because it's midterm. And then New Providence starts here at Holy Trinity and the Dundas. We're doing drama and dance at the Dundas. And then we head to Grand Bahama for 2 weeks. Grand Bahama usually has 800 to 900 entries right off the top.
Yep.
And then we head to Bimini, Berry Islands, and then we will end the festival with Long Island and Cat Island.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Well, listen, of course, you can contact Novi there at the ministry.
Yes, of Youth, Sports, and Culture.
And is there a number that we could call, Novi?
502-0601. And people always hit me on Facebook. Feel free to hit me on Facebook, Novi Pierre.
Novi, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Looking
And-
forward to an exciting
Yes.
festival and getting the people and the winners that you always bring back for us
Yes,
for the later part of the year
yes.
to come on with us.
Most definitely.
Thanks again.
Awesome.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, encouraging you to celebrate your culture with all things Bahamian, all of the amazing talents that you have by participating in the 60th anniversary of the E. Clement Bethel. 60 years old. And of course, you can contact Novi at the ministry or on Facebook to find out more details. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Grand Bahamas' biggest business conference. Be there Thursday, February 21st at the Grand Lucayan Resort at 8:30 a.m. Keynote address by Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, Minister for Grand Bahama. Register now. Contact Margaret Olbrey at the Councilors Limited at 322-7505 or Merson Ferguson at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce 242-352-8329 or register online at tclevents.com. Grand Bahama Business Outlook 2019.
How are we making Rev work wonders for you? We are doing it together. You told us what you want, and we've heard you. Want faster broadband? How about speeds up to 1 gigabit per second? Want shorter house calls? 2 hours max. We promise. Want to take your entertainment anywhere? Well, your Rev Go Play app is here. Rev, we've heard you. You speak, we listen. Rev, you and us together.
We want to thank you very much for joining us on this Monday edition of Bahamas at Sunrise. We do this just for you, the morning after Super Bowls.
Yeah, boy, because it's rough. But listen, I hope that you have a peachy day and a wonderful week. Sending a special shout out to Chelly Moss this morning, hoping that he especially has a very peachy day, and I hope that you all will enjoy. We're going to be back here on Friday.
All right, bye.
Bye.